William Jefferson, where the naked hoes at? Clinton in the news. Bill Clinton went to Jeffrey Epstein's island with two young girls, Virginia Giuffre says. We'll just read a little bit of this article just to get the feel for things. And then I want to show you a couple other sources just to show you different perspectives on it. In recently unsealed court documents involving dead child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. Can you imagine getting that as an introduction? Woo! A woman named Virginia Giuffre, who publicly accused Epstein of trafficking, said that she once saw former Democratic President Bill Clinton on Epstein's island with two young girls from New York. In the questioning by lawyer Jack Scarola, Giuffre was asked, "Do you have any recollection of Jeffrey Epstein specifically telling you that Bill Clinton owes me favors?" "Yes, I do," Giuffre answered. It was a laugh, though. He would laugh it off, you know. "I remember asking Jeffrey, what's Bill Clinton doing here on Epstein's island?" kind of thing. And he laughed it off and said, "Well, he owes me favors. He never told me what those favors were. I never knew that. I didn't know if he was serious. It was just a joke. He told me a long time ago that everyone owes him favors. They're all in each other's pockets." Scarola then asked if she was ever present with Epstein and Clinton on the island. Ghislaine Emmy, another girl who was allegedly a regular at Epstein's house, and there was two young girls that I could identify. I never really knew them well anyways. It was just two girls from New York, Guiffre answered, and said they were all staying in Epstein's house on the island. In a statement to Newsweek on Friday, a Clinton spokesperson denied the allegation, saying he has never been to Little St. James Island. The claim had previously been made by Clinton representatives in 2019. He had not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade, and Hale Urena added, well before his terrible crimes came to light. They go on to talk here in brief. In 2002, Epstein hosted Clinton, as well as actors Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker, on a 2002 tour of Africa associated with the Clinton Foundation. It's an interesting group of people there. Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker as a threesome. And no pun intended there in terms of that threesome, but you never know. The world's greatest politician, Epstein called Clinton, in a 2002 New York Times article in which President Donald Trump mentioned Epstein's predilection for girls. On the younger side, Clinton praised Epstein. Is she credible? That's up to you to determine for yourself. There's plenty of footage out there with her giving interviews, talking about the situation. I hear a lot of conservatives say she's really reliable, but of course it involves Bill Clinton, so had she come out and said these things against Trump, then they'd be like, oh, no. And then individuals on the left would be, oh yeah, she's so credible. But of course, you know how it is. She did come out, though, and say that she never witnessed Trump on the island. So, obviously, the Trump fans are loving that, right? This is a Fox News article. It pretty much has the same content in terms of the information. And I'll link these articles, of course, in the description. Archive them so you can go ahead and read them in full. I wanted to show you this, and this would be true of the other side as well. Say the tables were turned, and they were pointing the finger at Trump, and Clinton was exonerated or what have you, whatever word you want to use for that. But here's how people justify. Well, if this were a contest, Trump has a huge lead. Clinton 6 victims, Trump 24. And then somebody says, yet Trump is the winner, Maca 2020. Again, it's a Fox site, so a little bit of a troll job here by American Dreamer, and then the Trump supporters come out. So instead of saying possibly both guys have issues with women and have had them in the past, you say, well, your guy's worse than my guy. Right? I don't know how all of that works out, but that's the logic a lot of individuals have. This is a Vanity Fair article here, and it talks a little bit more about the names involved. And from what I had read, Ghislaine, her attorneys, were actually trying to block this from being released, trying to block this information, this testimony, deposition, this from coming out. Obviously, it's directed at her role in it. So the attorneys want to say, hey, no, we don't want this stuff seeing the light of day, because once you read about Maxwell's involvement, and if you've seen any of the specials on it and the interviews that Virginia's given in the past. So it says here, and we'll just kind of skim this, the most eye-opening of names is hedge fund billionaire Glenn Dubin. Is he really eye-opening? Never heard of this dude. To me, not eye-opening. Guiffre alleges was the first powerful man Epstein and Maxwell directed her to first have sex with sometime in 2001. Now it goes on further here to say down at the bottom, former Governor Bill Richardson, former Democratic Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell, the late MIT computer scientist Marvin Minsky, and MC2 model agency co-founder Jean-Luc Brunel, as well as an unnamed prince, foreign president, and owner of a French hotel chain. I'm sure that the internet sleuths, being what they are, can probably start to narrow some of these things down if they really wanted to work on this. Giuffre previously alleged she had been forced by Epstein and Maxwell to hook up with Alan Dershowitz and Britain's Prince Andrew. We've heard those names. Like I said, if you've seen the special, you've seen those names thrown out there. So those aren't much of a surprise. The only thing that I would offer is this, and in the Fox article, the title of it itself was MSNBC fails to cover it, fails to address coverage of it. But of course, you know, MSNBC or any news agency where they don't like what's being said or what the topic is that's being covered, they'll just say, well, we didn't cover that because it was a conspiracy theory. You know how it is and how it's been the past year, past couple years. Anything that's not liked by those in the media, they don't like the story, they don't like the angle, they don't like that it implicates individuals that they are in bed with, in a way. I'm really not trying to come up with these puns, I swear. But if it hurts an individual that they see favorably, conspiracy theory, because the average individual is just going to see that term and be like, oh, well, they said conspiracy theory, so it must be fake. The reality is they just don't like it, and they don't have any argument to refute it a lot of times. In this case, I would just caution, like I always do. I know that I can't really say anything in defense of Bill Clinton. I was talking about the missus with this, and I was telling her this. And then I'll get back to my point and kind of finish up. If you told me that of the two guys, Clinton and Trump, that one of them was a pedo, or one of them was into bestiality, one of them would hook up with a green alien, that one of them would hook up with a quadriplegic person, one would hook up with a trans man or woman, one would try to turn a lesbian straight and swear he could, I would say that that would be Bill Clinton, because that guy seems like somebody who would stick his stick into anything that walked. And on the other hand, if you told me there was an island out there somewhere that had thousands of European supermodels at your beck and call 24/7, and you told me Donald Trump quit the presidency today to go move to that island, I'd be more likely to believe that that'd be the case relative to Bill Clinton. So when I hear of stuff like this, and this was when this first came out and when I was watching the specials on it some time ago, and they were banting about Trump's name and Clinton's name, I was like, that stuff sounds like something that Clinton would be more likely to be involved with than Trump. They've each got their niches, is what I'm saying. Bill Clinton, man, you've seen some of the women that he was sticking it to in the 90s. And kudos to Monica. She turned out kind of hot, you know, relative to back then. So she aged well. But those other women that Clinton was allegedly into, not looking good back then, probably looking even worse now. Anyway, getting back to the point. I would just caution individuals to just wait. Let's see more information. I don't know how much more can come out. I don't know whether these two girls from New York are going to have any involvement in this. I want to see what Ghislaine has to say, if she's going to testify, if she's going to give us names. I think that you very well know, though, and I'll just end it on this, if you could produce a videotape, and we'll dismiss Prince Andrew because nobody cares about him, and he's never going to get brought to justice anyway. I think that we all know that. If you had a videotape of Bill Clinton hooking up on Orgy Island with two 16-year-olds, Democrats would still try to come up with some way to say that the tape is faked. Democrats, maybe not by and large, but Clinton supporters, we'll just say that. Clinton supporters would claim that the tape is fake and that that was actually Donald Trump in the video and that somehow it was selectively edited to put Clinton's face over the top of Trump's body. Be cautious, like always. Let's get more information. Let's see what comes out. Check out some of the specials where they interview Virginia. See what you feel about her. See if you think she's credible. See if you think her accusations are credible. She's got a photo of her with Prince Andrew, so I don't know. I mean, he did try to say that photo was fake, so I don't know. Anyway, Bill Clinton, is anybody surprised? Probably not. Is anybody surprised that the left's gone dark on this? Definitely not. Like I said, we'll see what comes out and we'll see where it goes, and definitely we'll see if Maxwell lives to make it to trial. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. And if you're Bill Clinton, not only do you take it easy, you take it any way you can get it.